everybody, or good afternoon, wherever you're at. I know I am coming on a little late today, and I was hesitant because I was trying to get on with Kristen Brown and Julie, but they were chatting with some other folks, and so I'm just going ahead and doing this. Maybe I can catch up with them outside of wisdom. I am here to present with Tao of the Day. Tao of the Day is a program that I host so that people can pick a number between 1 and 81. And it's kind of like a card pull in tarot. You pick a number, and I will read to you your Tao of the day. What is the Tao? What is your Tao of the day? Well, the Tao consists of 81 chapters of sort of enigmatic and poetic advice on how to live a more reasonable life, how to live a life more reasonably. What that means is, can you live a life without asking others to do anything for you? Can you live a life where you can accept what other people choose to do? You don't have to ask them to change, is what I mean. Not you can ask them to do things for you, but if they say no, it's cool. Like, how can you live in this more kind of calm, positive way? So much of our living today gets caught up in what we want others to be, what we want others to do, how we want others to act. And when that happens, we can get in our own way and we can make our life more difficult than it actually is. And so, what I ask you to do is pick a number between 1 and 81. Once again, there are 81 verses in the Tao. This text was written in 600 BCE, and so it is considered an ancient text, and it is written in our hearts because there's truth within this, right? And when I talk about truth, there are experts who know some shit, and there is truth. And the experts like to say a lot of things, but they don't have truth. They have things that they say, and they may be able to prove them for a time, but they don't hold truth. You hold truth. Truth to you, truth to each and every one of us is. There is going to be a line that flows through all of that there where there is truth to be had amongst everything. And when you can touch that, when you can be in touch with that, then you will understand yourself and your place in the universe, right? Like, so there is an underlying nature of the universe that you are in touch with. Now, that, according to Tao, cannot be expressed in mere words. We can't just simply talk about what that is. So, what I'm doing here with the Tao is often, I often have some, trepidation with it, just a little sort of, this can't be done, but we do our best, right? So anything that I say isn't truth, but it's pointing, hopefully, to truth. And when you take that and mull it over as you experience it, as you hear it, because I always like to say, what I have to say and what I say and what you hear have nothing to do with one another. Right? What I say is important for me to say and for me to experience saying and doing all that. And what you hear has everything to do with you hearing it. And what it is you hear might not have anything to do with what I say. And when we can understand that, when we can understand that I'm the one having this experience, just because you're present within my experience doesn't mean that we're having an experience. And that's why we can't talk about Tao, because Tao is truth. And truth in your perception and in my perception are going to be very different, but it's still truth. And that's where the Tao comes in. So when you pick a number, we read through something, and what you hear is yours. Now, you could look at this with every conversation you have, but what I try to bring is I try and go to a specific text. It's an ancient text, and I've followed the Tao, and the Tao has helped me maintain 22 years of sobriety and cleanliness in terms of drug use. It also has brought me to a place of what I call recovering myself. I move towards being who I am. I move towards growing as I am, and I don't allow, nothing can affect me that isn't mine. right? So, I mean, I just acquired a home, and the home has all of this, all of these like plumbing problems. And so I look at that and I look at the plumbing problems that it has, and I say, how is that mine? Right? This is mine. I am not a victim of the plumbing problems that are in the home. I'm not a victim to, damage. I'm not a victim to any of that. I am a part of it. And so, how do I get to grow from this experience? Right? I'm the experiencer is the one having the experience. So you are having an experience hearing me. I am having an experience talking, and those are two totally different things. Right? I don't have to consider, well, of course I have to consider you. I mean, speaking publicly, there's this whole like world that we live in and stuff. But I can't say I upset him, right? I can't say they don't understand me. I can say I am having the experience of not being understood. I am having the experience of having upset somebody, right? I can't put it on you and be a victim to your experience. And that's what I mean when I talk about living reasonably. And so I want to invite you guys up to pick a number between 1 and 81, and we'll read your Tao for the day. We'll talk about some of the ideas you have. We'll go through it line by line, and then we'll be able to figure out what this is saying for you in this moment. We all going through things all the time. We want to be able to always bring it back home to truth. And truth, even though we can't speak of truth, we will do our best. And so Johnny is here. Wonderful. I'm so glad. Happy New Year, Johnny. I hope you are kicking off 2023 well.
Happy New Year, Martin John. It's great to hear
Happy
you.
New Year. Oh, thank you.
I know on a couple of your previous talks you've talked about how you're moving forward with your home, and
Oh, yeah.
I hope sort of your plumbing issues are starting to resolve themselves. It certainly sounds like um, a little bit of an adventure. So I wish you
Yeah,
well
it
with that.
is. As these things start to unfold, like, and it's really great too, because I'm having this experience that I've not experienced other homeowners have, which is you find a problem and you're excited about it.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, this, because I'm so excited to be able to, I look at it as like love this space in a way that it hasn't been loved before. Imagine being a home, and every time you hurt, other people are angry at you. That is so sad to me.
Yes.
Like, when like if you are a home and you have plumbing problems, it's like all you want is somebody to solve your plumbing problem, and it's like it's painful for you to have that problem, and yet someone hears about it and all they do is lament how you hurt and you have to be cared for. And as I go through this and I see this home and I'm like, oh my God, every sink in the home has been draining into the crawl space. I'm like, oh my God, how horrible for this home. And that's how I approach it. And I'm like, I get to care for you. And it feels like the home's like, oh my God, thank you. Thank you for just like seeing my pain.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a lovely viewpoint because you would hope that in you caring for your home will then reciprocate and care for you, and it doesn't have to, but you
Well,
kind of
right,
hope
and
it
that's
would.
and that's another thing. With Tao, it's like we talk. There are verses that say you trust the untrustworthy, even though you might not get anything back from it. You do it anyway.
Yeah,
Like you become your best person regardless of what the other will do.
and I definitely have the feeling that you're seeing these challenges as learning opportunities, and I know that's a bit of a stereotype, but
Yeah, of course.
you certainly seem to embrace as actually you say, you kind of you don't um you're not afraid of problems coming up in sort of your home. You kind of welcome them as like an opportunity to practice the Tao, I guess.
It is, and well, and that's it. Like every conversation I have, every person I meet, everything I interact with, when I can approach it with this sort of mindset of like, this is me caring for the world, right? This is me caring for myself. This is me, and and when that comes up and I can look at it as energetic, where it's like, huh, this is necessary in this moment, and let's just be here in this moment and like not lament anything. Like let's just like, and really everything has just been like falling into place, and I've been like, I don't know, I've been supported through all of this energetically, and like, and somehow, like I can't, I am learning to trust more and more all the time. And I'm learning to just trust the process, let go, and just say, this is it. I wrote an email today. I don't know if you're on my email list, but I wrote an email today. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see this as well. It's this thing that talks about the Tao, and I forget. I think it was in chapter 9 of the Tao, and I'm gonna just look at this really quick while I have this open. It was like, do what you do and move on. It isn't yours anyway. This idea that like, whatever, like this plumbing problem, that's not your problem, but it is a problem that exists right now, and it is something that you can look at, and something that you can deal with. Now, how do you want to deal with this? And when you get to approach it, it's like I said, this statement is like the first, like, fuck around and find out. Like, just go out in your life, fuck around, figure out some shit, do some things, and you'll find out how amazing, like, this world is.
Absolutely. Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and 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 it's a lovely attitude to have. It's a very playful attitude to have. And
Yeah.
it's when you were initially talking about your house, it sounded as if at one point I thought you were describing, it was not the victim mentality, but there was the possibility or your house being feeling like a victim. But I appreciate that isn't what's happening. But it was just interesting that sort of, yeah, it's just interesting that that your home has suffered from its previous occupants and from whatever else has happened, and now you're embracing those challenges and the opportunity to transform it and to transcend
Yeah.
it.
And to just love it,
Yes.
and like you said, it's playful. Imagine, like, there are things when I was a painter in a years ago. I mean, I still paint, but and I utilize my painting in the work I do today. But I was like a traditional sort of gallery showing like painter, and and there were times when I painted, and I was totally what I was talking about earlier, like fucking around. It was just like, oh, I was just fucking around with paint, moving it around, whatever, like, and I did these series of just like paintings that, didn't have any judgment, didn't have any thought, they were just fucking around. When people talk about those, if they like them or they don't like them, I don't own it. I don't, I don't add it to my ego. I don't add it to my successes or failures. If people don't like them, I don't care, because man, what the hell? I was just fucking around.
Exactly.
You know, and so when I can approach anything with this sort of mentality of just, oh, I'm gonna fuck around, then I don't have to be so burdened by it. It's like, if my house is just, it's not, I don't take possession of it. I'm just kind of living here. I mean, maybe I'll wake up one day and be like, this is my house, and have that feeling. But I currently don't. I currently just have the experience of like, oh, I'm just here doing these things, kind of caring for it. And it's a really nice space to be. And I don't know if that's just because I'm just taking ownership of it, or if it's something that, has just been, just a part of how I experience things.
It feels very much like a nurturing and growth space.
Yeah.
And when you were talking about being playful and not really worrying about other people's opinions of your art, because you were just fucking about or fucking around. Sorry. Um,
Mhm.
um,
You're
it made,
British. About is the way you say it. Yeah, yeah.
it it reminded me of like the Joseph Campbell quote,
Yeah.
the guy who wrote
The God.
the Hero's Journey. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think one of his quotes is "Follow your bliss,"
Yeah.
and I've kind of always I've always thought that was kind of a utopian view to be able to do, but yeah, oh, that as 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 with so many platitudes, there is definitely an element of truth in there, and
There is a way to do it, but I always look at the problem with the concept of following your bliss, or however we want to look at it, is that we are trained and geared and reared to not.
mhm, yes,
We're reared to follow the desires of others because that's what rewards us. And then that's the problem. And getting away from that, just like and I talk a lot about addiction and alcoholism and other things like that because I held on to those for a long time. Just like addiction, there's withdrawal, and withdrawal is painful. And if you want to withdraw from the current system of do what we want you to do and we will praise you,
yes,
right? If you want to withdraw from that, you will have to literally go through a withdrawal period. And I always talk, when I talk about addiction to drugs and alcohol, I always say 5 years is still early addiction. It's still painful for the first 5 years. I don't know how painful it is and how difficult it is and how much you have to really want to get away from the addiction of our current economic or political or socioeconomic sort of landscape. I
hmm
don't know how many years it takes to withdraw or go through withdrawal of all of that, you know, but it is not easy. And
definitely.
then when you get through that, you will be more able to, what I talk about, recover yourself and follow your bliss and do all of those things. But
Yeah,
that's a process that takes some serious awareness.
yeah, absolutely. And somebody once said to me that the idea is you have to unlearn, and to me, you need to unlearn all of the imposed beliefs that, or so the belief system that's been imposed on us by people in power, etc., education
Yep.
system. But in undoing that, you leave yourself a void or a space.
Yeah.
And I think in that void and space, you can be very it can be very that can be a very uncomfortable place,
It
because you,
is.
you don't have that you don't have the comfort of the comfort of that, of being told what's right and wrong.
Right.
And
You have to figure that shit out.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
that's let's fuck around and find out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, that's
Oh,
exactly what that is.
I did have a number. I don't know if we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You can always come back up. So why don't you pick a
Perfect.
number and we get into it?
Great. Number 13, please.
13. Here I am, number 13. Finding equality at the extremes. To succeed and to fail are equally undesirable. Creation and destruction are equally present within us. What do I mean by to succeed and to fail are equally undesirable? The more you succeed, you have, uh, the more success you have, the more you protect it by hiding failure. The more you associate with failure, the more you embody it. When neither success nor failure is identified as the destination, people become beings become no, sorry. When neither success nor failure is identified as the destination, being becomes the objective. What do I mean by creation and destruction are equally present within us? Having a body and a mind with which we identify gets me involved in the manifestation. The manifestation convinces me of my actions, and so By naming them, I both create and destroy, neither of which are unique. To see yourself with indifference, you will have faith in all things. To see the world with indifference, you will be able to care for it all. So that's a bit of a long one, but
Yeah.
why don't you drop out, come back up, and then we'll start to take this apart.
All right, great. Thank you.
Sounds good. Okay, are you back? Okay, I'm gonna Johnny. You stepped out. I thought I brought you back, but I didn't. Let's try and get you back up again. I'll give you another moment. Oh, I lost Kelly too now. Johnny, I'm going to give you another couple seconds to go through this. And if you can't come back up, you might have to reinstall or whatever. And I'm going to have Julie come up and then we can get back to you. I don't know if you're up. You may have to shut down the app. I'm going to bring Julie up and then we'll get back. Oh, okay, Johnny just sent me a message saying he can't connect. Um, Damn, I wish I didn't send you away. But yeah, if you can come back in, definitely come back in.
Yeah, pop
Julie,
in,
how are you doing?
Johnny. I'm all
Yeah,
right, my
Johnny's got to pop
lovely.
in.
Good, good. I'm glad he is. Whenever he was ready, he can go for it.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying 13. 13. What a great number. What a
that's
great
good.
read that is.
Yeah, did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it very much. In fact, I liked it so much that I'm going to stick with that. I'm going
You're
to
gonna
go for
stick with.
that
Oh,
one
good.
as well. Yeah,
We'll be able to explore this together. And if Johnny's
yeah.
listening, then we can do that. This is fun. This is fun.
It's good. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what are your first thoughts on that? I know you heard it, so.
I, it's a strive for me. When I'm listening, I'm thinking that yes, I want to be in equilibrium as much as possible because that is a place of peace for me. So I don't want to dwell and live in failure, although I do want to um, still experience those things and glean from the experience of it, but not live in it. And also,
Mhm.
I don't want to become so over successful that I'm disconnected.
Yeah,
That's what I'm gathering from it, which is a real path at the moment for me. That's where I'm still. I'm trying to. Well, I'm not actually trying.
that's
But
that's 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 a good statement. I'm not actually trying.
yeah,
And I
but I'm
think
aware.
that's
I'm
what
aware.
we're
Yeah.
what that's really what we're getting at. Earlier, Johnny and I were talking about, and my email today was all about this idea of like fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Just just fuck about. There's nothing there's nothing to succeed at. There's
Yeah. That's
nothing
it.
to fail from. There is nothing to create. There's nothing to destroy.
Yeah.
And well, actually, like maybe everything is a creation and destruction at the same time, but it's not a success or failure to do either of those things.
Yeah.
You know,
It equates to me similar to me saying earlier on when I was talking that I try so hard to throw away this measuring stick all the time. But it
yeah,
keeps coming back, it keeps boomeranging back into my world. I have to then uh, kind of make it and destroy it, just like you said. It's
yeah,
created and then it's destroyed, it's created and then it's destroyed. And it's a continual.
that's
It's a
right.
continual. Yeah.
And it's not that like, oh, here it is again. I failed. No, it's like here it is again. Cool.
Awareness. Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
there it
awareness.
is.
Yeah.
Just bring in that awareness. And that's the whole thing. Like if you can there are people that fuck around and never find out because they're always searching for a destination. And it's not as playful as all that. It's just like they're fucking around to get somewhere.
Yeah. To
They're
where
fucking
though?
around trying to let's see what sticks. And then when I find something that sticks, I'm going to stick to it. It's like, yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's not really why you fuck around. right?
Yeah.
Like you're not fucking around to find out what other people like. And I think that's what so many businesses do. You
Yeah.
know, so many coaches and all these other people that are just like, well, let's see what works. And then when we
But
find
then
out what
that thing,
works, we'll
yeah,
hold on
that
to
thing
that.
only works for a limited amount of time, though, because
It only
everything
works for
is in the,
one time.
yeah, because everything is in process of change continually, us
That's right.
and what's happening around us.
That's right.
The experience that we have, the perception we have of that, is all forever moving and changing. So there is no ingredient, there is no way of doing something that will work in every moment. There isn't.
So
So
I want to return to this Tao and express what you just said in here. What
okay.
do I mean by to succeed and to fail are equally undesirable? The more success you have, which relates back to our I figured out what happened. I figured out what works, right? The more
Yeah.
success you have, the more you protect it by hiding failure. So
Mm,
what you do is you keep instead of you know instead of doing what instead of continuing to fuck around because failure might be there, you
mm,
hold on to this one answer, this one answer. Like I succeeded by curing my client of MS by giving them medication. Well, now just keep taking medication for the rest of your life and we will avoid failure. And it's like,
yeah.
wait, that might not be the answer for everybody. That might not be success along the way. Well, if you don't shift gears, guess what? You have success, right? It's like Trump was saying, we'll have less COVID problems if we stop testing so much. He's protecting success. He's saying, I don't want to have COVID problems, so let's stop testing and then we won't have
Let's
any
stop
data.
looking at it. Yeah,
Right.
let's stop acknowledging it.
Let's
Let's
stop
just,
acknowledging it and then I can't fail. I am going to protect my success by hiding failure.
excuse me, but I'm trying to have a little.
Quite all right. The more you associate with failure, the more you embody it. So the more you kind of, this is law of attraction sort of stuff, maybe, where it's like the more you embrace that idea of like, I'm a failure or I failed and stuff, you're constantly looking at that and then adjusting your life to that. And so when neither success nor failure is identified as the destination, being becomes the objective. And that's what we talk about when we're saying fuck around and find out. You just fuck around. When neither success nor failure is identified, you're not trying to get anywhere. You're not trying to accomplish anything. You're not trying to do anything. That was a hell of a cough. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good now. That's what happens
Okay,
when you
good.
talk too much and spit goes down the wrong hole. I just thought I'd share
Oh,
that.
yeah. Yeah, I know about that. So when neither success nor failure is identified as the destination, being becomes the objective.
Mm. And being is the curiosity.
Yeah. What is this? What is this right now, right here in front of me? What is it?
That's it.
And what a great a way to approach it.
It's fresh.
Yeah.
It's a fresh moment that you can receive without any um, agenda.
Hmm.
Because as
Yeah.
soon as you have agenda, you are changing the experience.
Right. Now you're looking at the experience you're having right now from the vantage point of the desire that you have.
Yeah,
And I remember someone came up here. I don't know if it was Daryl or someone else. And he asked, "Well, is desire always bad?" And I said, "Well, according to Tao, yes." And I would agree.
mm,
I would tend to agree because desire is the thing that gets you, like to change what what you are being called to do, to doing
yeah,
what you think is the right answer.
yeah. I'd agree with that. That's like wandering off your path for a bit.
Yeah, because you have an idea of what the universe should owe you or what you should get. This is why when people talk about like law of attraction and stuff like that, I'm all for it. Go ahead, attract what you want. But if you let go, the things you want to attract will come in anyway. The things you
Yeah.
really want to attract, rather than being like, I want a big car. Do you really? Because maybe you don't. And maybe you're living under the influence of the desire to have a lot of things. Maybe.
Because along with that desire comes the action of keeping, the action of maintaining, the action of um, building the thing. See, so
Yeah.
for me, I would never have a desire for a large car, because along with that would come, I need to put petrol in it. The insurance is going to be more expensive, and all of this stuff. So, and the fact is, it's not a need for me. I
It's really
can,
interesting. I've
yeah.
always said, I don't understand why people have pickup trucks. What a silly thing to do. What a silly idea. They're bad on gas. They're bad on like you got to have special license plates for them. There's all of these things. What a silly, silly thing. And guess what I'm going to probably be buying in the next week?
A pickup truck.
Yep, a pickup truck.
But
Because
then,
I have a house now that
yeah,
requires me to carry big things, and I always tell people, and I've learned this over the years. If you say you don't want something,
you
you
won't get
better
it.
be ready to get it.
That's
You
exactly
better
it,
be
though.
ready to
Yeah,
receive it.
it's funny, isn't it? Life is a very, very magical thing to me, because some of the things that I've projected out of them in my mind, I've not even spoken out, but it's a feeling that I'd like,
Yeah.
and it does come. It
Yeah.
does come, but it tends to not come in the way that you envisage it.
Right. And nor
Uh,
like, why are you envisaging it anyway?
yeah, yeah.
That's
That's
the
that's the
that's the
waste of
problem.
time bit. Yeah, that's the waste of time bit for me. I no
That's
longer
right.
do that. Yeah.
Just sit back and figure,
Anyway,
like, and we move into this next line. What do I mean by creation and destruction are equally present with us? Having a body and a mind in which we identify. So we identify and we want things and we have desires, right? Gets me involved in the manifestation. The manifestation convinces me of my actions, convinces me that I'm the one doing the work. I'm the one, like, working with law of attraction. I'm the one, right? My ego, I
yeah,
am the
yeah,
one. The manifestation convinces me of my actions. And so naming them, I am practicing this, attraction business. I both create and destroy. I create what is possible and I destroy what is to come. And just like my idea of a pickup truck, I'm creating the path to have one, but I'm destroying the old idea
yeah,
that I would never have one.
yeah,
Neither of these are unique. Everybody does it all the time.
yeah. Absolutely, they do. Yeah. On the path myself, I have ideas that I think will be fantastic, but only time will tell.
That's right. And you know what? You're going to create some things, and other things along the way are going to get destroyed because you had the thought.
Yeah,
And that's the thing, like having a body and mind with which I identify gets me involved in the manifestation. You can't avoid that. Of course you are involved in the manifestation now.
yeah,
The manifestation convinces me of my actions, and so naming them, I both create and destroy. And that's the push and pull.
yeah.
I am now invested in the manifestation.
Yeah, that is what my I was chatting earlier about labels, and for me, that is what I see creating and destroying.
Yeah. Right.
That's
You
so I'm not going to do
you
that.
create a label and you destroy possibility.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
destroy the possibility of you seeing. Like, I have to be able, like, I can own any car. Any car is great. And here I am needing the one car that I thought was like, I would never own that. And how beautiful it is for me to step into a position to be like, yep, that's where I am now. How beautiful.
Hello. How are you? All right. It's brothers.
Hey,
Martin,
Brad.
John, it's the brothers.
Hi
Oh, thank you so much.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah. How are you guys on the boat?
No, we're still
No.
at Claire's. Day
Oh, okay. How long are
13,
you there
and
for?
well, we've been here
Don't know.
13 days, and it's magical what you say, because when you don't project or think up or conjure or do all of those things, what you actually get is it's amazing.
It
We've had
is.
a lovely, lovely time,
Mm-hmm.
and in the back of my mind, I've been thinking, any minute now, any minute. But then I push it away and go, no, because that's not what's happening. That's what's happening in my thoughts. But what
Right.
is actually happening is happening. And it's a
That's
beautiful place, being well looked after and given lots of love.
We've
So I'm destroying the old version of what I thought might happen.
that's right.
and we've
And it,
kind of making. I reckon we've got a new ley line
well, we got a
in the plan.
new ley line in the plan. There you go, Martin John.
Oh, yes. It's
So,
important. Well, and that's the thing. Like you're constantly adjusting and doing this sort of work of like, oh well, what's next? What's next? What's
yeah,
now?
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, and you move forward because you are part of the manifestation. If you drop out and you have time, please come back so we can finish this. There's still a couple lines left. But
okay.
um if that happens, when that happens, when we shift and change and do all of that work, like we are being responsive to this moment. We're not having to hold on to the old way of doing things, hold on to the way that we had done things, hold on to who we have been. We're just who we are now. And every morning we wake up a new person, and we slowly, usually every morning, very quickly, we remind ourselves of who we were yesterday,
Yeah,
you know?
I'd agree with that.
And as soon as you remind yourself of who you were yesterday, you start going back into the old ways of doing things. And these
Ah,
last four lines here, to see yourself with indifference, you will have faith in all things.
that is fantastic.
Like
That's it.
can you be indifferent about yourself?
I practice every day.
That's right. That's all we can do is practice because we can't be completely indifferent, but if we can get to a place like where it's just like, well, this is going to happen, that's okay.
Yeah, let's see what it's got for me today.
Fuck around and find out.
Yay! That's what I'm gonna do. I've got to sign off now, Martin John, because I've got to
All
eat
right.
some food and then I'm on a night shift. But I just wanted to
Okay.
come.
Well, you have a great night. Enjoy your meal.
I will.
Send Brad my love, and well, Brad sending you my love, and yeah, we will be in touch soon.
I hope so. You are my family. I love you.
Oh, love you. Ciao.
Bye.
And then the final line here is to see the world with indifference. You will be able to care for all things. When I talk about the Tao and I talk about this idea of living in a reasonable way, this line really wraps that up. When you can be indifferent about the world, and when I approach people that are in addiction, having problems with that, I'm indifferent. I don't care if you go out and use. That's fine. Is that what you want to be doing? And when I can be indifferent, I can care for it. When I care about what you do and how you do it, I can't care for you. Like I was talking about my house earlier with Johnny. We got off on a tangent, really talked a lot about the house, but um, there's this whole idea of like, if it has plumbing problems, I won't love it because then I have, problems. But it's like, nope, like I have to love it more because the problem that the house has is hurting it, but it's still happening. And so if I can be indifferent to what's going on in the house, then I can care for it. As I mentioned to Johnny when we were talking, imagine if you had something like you broke your leg and someone said, like I know this happened to my dad. My dad broke his leg, and the first thing my mom said to him is, how are we going to pay the bills? I was a child at the time. We lived in an apartment, and, you know, she was angry that he hurt himself. And and I remember that because I mean he remembers it. He mentioned it to me. So I mean he held on to that. You know, he had stuff that he was holding on to it. But imagine if somebody did that. Like that's not nice. You know, I'm not trying to say my mom's not nice. I mean, she obviously wasn't in that moment. She had her own, issues, right? But it's a that's the we don't want to get into a situation where we are looking at things from that perspective, looking at things from the perspective of like, oh, your pain hurts me. That way I have to be indifferent. If I can be indifferent to the entire world, I can be indifferent to the fact that, you know, there's global warming. Now, I know that that's a hard thing to say. Of course, that doesn't mean that I want to continue global warming, but I can be like, it's happening, okay. And I will do everything I can, and that is within my heart to make the world a better place. But still, global warming is happening and I'm not going to change the actions of other people in order to change that. If it comes to it, it comes to it, and I will I will step into uh, the role of into the indifferent space and care for the world as it is, not as I want it to be. Voice is going to join me, and that is 13. Such a beautiful uh, way of looking at the world. Voice,
Hey, Martin. How you doing?
how you doing?
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year. Yes, ma'am.
So how's it going?
Everything is going really well. I'm in Virginia at the moment, and I go back to my home tomorrow. I left yesterday evening, and it's a quick jaunt just to help my sister transport one of her children to back home because her child Jaden is visits her dad on New Year's because that's his birthday.
Oh, okay. All
So
right. All
so yeah,
right.
so
So
I'm
how the
doing a
pipes
little
going
I'm
though?
doing a little what's that?
The pipes. You were working on the pipes last time
Oh
I
yeah.
talked to you.
So I got yeah, I have every one of my sinks. I have 3 sinks in my house. Every one of my sinks has for who knows how long uh has been draining into the crawl space. They
Wow.
have not
Okay.
gone they have not gone into they have not gone into um, any drains. It's just they've just like in for different reasons, and so on the 12th, I'll be getting that taken care of. Um, I can fix it, so I would be able to fix it, but I want a professional in there just to kind of make sure that if there's uh, any other things kind of going on that we catch those things and then I can start doing other stuff. So I'm caring for the house and it's beautiful.
I'm so happy to hear that, and I'm happy to hear that you found that out because that could be a mold situation. So getting
Yeah,
somebody to listen.
there is definitely mold going on, and I will be removing joists and replacing joists in the house,
Okay.
and yeah, so there will be a lot of wood removal. I am going to I removed the kitchen floor, most of it,
Mm-hmm.
about 70%. I will end up removing the rest of it. And this is where all of the leaking was happening is underneath the kitchen floor. So I'm gonna redo the whole kitchen floor pretty much.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah,
Hey, your safety is my concern. I'm just joking. I love
yeah.
you, but I'm not concerned. But
No, I
I do.
get you.
Whenever you say leak, that's why Sharente and them are here because their water heater was leaking under their house, and then it finally exploded, and now they got to replace the master bathroom, the laundry room, and walls, and all kind of
Hmm.
stuff. Okay,
Yeah, no, I got.
and they still waiting on insurance. So yeah.
Yeah, my house is super simple. So, I got my water heater is right off the kitchen, but all the pipes are above ground, so I can see all those. And then everything, all of the pipes go underground in the kitchen. So I'm removing the entire kitchen floor, and we're going to replace all of the joist. I got to replace one cinder block because the cinder block was getting dripped on from the bathroom sink, and
Okay,
it it eroded. So
that's probably gonna crumble.
I jacked up that joist because the joist is half eaten through. So I jacked that up. That's holding up right now, and then I will replace the cinder block. I know how to do some things, Joyce.
Well, I'm happy for you, and I'm happy that you're finding all this out in the beginning and before because most, like you said, most people start working, making the outside look all good and all that, make it
Mhm.
have curb appeal when the bones are having little aches.
Yeah.
You
No, and
know,
that's what I know. The guy who lived there before me, he really did a lot of that, and then the tenants that were there, they didn't care for the house. They they just used it up, and so I'm coming in, and the house is responding. The house is really loving me, so I'm grateful.
and as long as that love energy is in there, it's gonna just get better and better and better and better. So I'm
Yeah.
so proud of you, and I'm so happy for you. Okay, I was gonna pick number 39, and then when I came up here, you said 13, and that's what that 3 times 30. You know what I mean? That's
Oh,
so them
it
numbers lined
is.
up
Look
just
at
now.
that,
Okay, so I was
man.
like, oh, okay, maybe that is the number because I just happened to see it on something I was looking at. I saw 3901. I said, okay, number 39, and then you said you were talking about number 13. I was like, all
Wow.
right, I see you. So this is gonna be
Look
for
at
me
that. You're quick
definitely.
on the math. I would have never put that together.
Well, it because it's a multiple of three. I mean
Yeah.
the threes.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
see
threes
it
for
all.
me. I told you that before.
I know it. All right, so number 39 is entitled Unity. And this is your first out of the day for the year. So let's take note of that.
Okay.
Unity is the standard. When achieved, all things are harmonious. Heaven achieved it through purity, planets achieved it through solidity, beings achieve it through purpose. Generation after generation, every individual being finds their own unity, their own harmony. If heaven were to lose its purity, so too its union with planets. If planets were to lose their solidity, so too their union with beings. If beings were to lose their purpose, without unity, all would perish and decay. The Master honors everything in every form. She knows there is nothing between the highest and the lowest. Differentiating, we lose touch with unity. Always adjusting to find unity, the Master lets herself be lived, constantly being renewed and shaped by Tao, rugged and full of resolve. I think you've picked this one before.
No, I haven't picked that one before.
No, okay. I
No,
know I've read
no,
this one.
but to me, all I'm hearing is calibration, calibration. That's
Hmm.
what's going on in my brain. Calibration, staying calibrated. And I was just talking about on Kristen's stage about um, I'm sorry, I'm trying to turn to the page because I wrote it down because I was like, oh,
Hmm.
good, Lois, about the law of oneness. Because
Mm.
you recognize that we are all one with everything that you can see, taste, hear, smell, whatever, touch. You
Yep.
know that we are all one with that. Then with that what you ask for is already here. All you got to do is energetically balance yourself vibrationally calibrate yourself to line up with it. I just said all this. So when
Yeah,
we talk
this is
about
exactly what this is saying, right? She knows there is nothing between the highest and lowest. Differentiating, we lose touch with unity. When you differentiate, you are different from someone else, for
yes,
something else, then
yes,
you lose touch with unity.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And the thing is that when we're not paying attention, we can slip into that. But when we're not aware that all is one.
That's right.
That all is one, and it's like and everything has a vibrational, I call it a signature. I mean, I know
Yep.
it's frequency, but everybody has a vibrational signature to which we sign everything off to in different levels. Your
Hmm.
vibrational signature on your own money may be lower than your vibrational signature on the dial. You know what I mean?
Right, right,
uh,
right.
So everybody got a vibrational signature in every area, and when we can line these signatures up, we're actually lining up with whatever. And because the thing is that it's already all there. All we
That's
gotta
right.
do is balance it. All we gotta do is balance what is already there. We ain't gotta strive for anything, because as we line up with it, it's kind of like I dare I say it's like magic. You
No,
know,
yeah.
it's
You
like
know, this
magic. Go
this
ahead.
verse, like the last verse, the last section of this verse, always adjusting to find unity. The master lets herself be lived. Now
Mm-hmm.
that is it's a really short little thing, but it's a heavy sort of statement. She lets herself be lived, meaning that she's not doing the living.
Right.
Just like you're saying, you have a signature. This
Yeah.
isn't this isn't yours to dictate, but
Mm.
when you find unity, when you constantly always adjusting to find unity, to find your signature, to find your balance, the master lets herself be lived. You just, as you find it, you just kind of go with the flow. You move this way, move that
Yeah,
way,
you
you
just
adjust.
tweak. It's like you're it's like being on a I have not been on one, and I will do one soon. I have not been on a raft, but it's like being on
Mm.
a raft on the river.
Hmm.
Nobody is directing it but the
No,
river.
you just hold on
You
and
yes, you
yeah,
just hold on and you go with the flow. You may go a little to the left, a little to the right. The curve comes around with the river bends, the river leans, and then you just go with it, and because you ain't got no control over how that giraffe is going to head and what it's going to do, because it's based
that's
on
right.
whatever's in the river.
Right.
But if you know that all is one and there's nothing here to hurt you, and you can be chill and you can just embrace the ride, no matter its ups, its downs, its turns, its twists, it's quote unquote, I don't like labels, but good times, quote unquote, bad times,
Right, right, right.
then you know what, you actually find balance, because you're moved by nothing. Somebody can cuss you out and you say thank you, and
That's
somebody
right.
can give you a compliment and you say thank you, because both have the same weight, because stuff just is, and it's people's interpretation of what it is, and it shouldn't sway who what you know.
That's right.
So
That's so beautiful.
I love this card. This card was good for today, because it just, like I
Yeah.
said, it just finished my conversation with Kristen.
Oh
I did.
yeah, I was trying to get on with Kristen, but then I was like I gotta get doing some things today. So
Well, she had a very, very full queue, because it took me a while. but
yeah,
but it was, I
I
mean, I'm gonna
popped
say
in and then I popped out and then I was like, yeah,
it was worth the wait, though. And then I'm
good.
so glad to see that you were still here when I came back.
Yeah. No,
you
I'm
know.
always around.
I like this one. This one is good to a very good one to start the year off with. Very.
Yeah, I'm really glad. I'm really glad you brought it up. You know, like I would like if you have a moment to stick around. Um, I want to just address this. Like heaven achieved unity through purity, planets achieve unity through solidity, and beings achieve unity through purpose or their life by living. Just by living, you can achieve unity. Generation after generation, every individual being finds their own unity, their own harmony. Like there is no right way to do anything. And that's something that I really wanted to express in this one. It's like
Yes.
what you do in this moment is you're finding unity. Even if it is like even if you are going about something that is out of harmony with you, that's so that you can find a deeper unity. Like it is not nothing you do is wrong.
Right. Because you can't get it wrong. Because it's never
That's
in.
right.
It's a never ending story. You can't get it wrong. And the thing is that, and people say they make failures and mistakes. Those are not failures and mistakes. You in the school of life for lessons to learn, and the faster you learn the lessons, the faster you get on with it. And if we did not have the contrast of lessons to be learned, we wouldn't grow. Nothing grows in stagnant water.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? So it's, I mean, so like I said, this is good. This is very, very, very good. And what it was something else I thought, and then it slipped my mind now.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, this is such a like I like this uh, this thing that heaven is attached to the planets are attached to everything on the planet. And that's not just our planet, every planet. Like every rock that is connected to the planet, like that solidity holds that together.
Mm-hmm.
The solidity of the planet, and then us as having our lives. As long as we are living our lives, we can honor everything in every form. And by doing that, uh, and by understanding there is nothing between heaven and us, there it is the same.
That's because heaven is in us.
That's right. That's right.
Heaven is in us because, oh my goodness, I mean, because once you are lined up with the unity of it all, that's when the window of heaven blessings that the Bible talks about opens. That's when you get the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but it was all about going through all the different shades, all the different tests, all the different trials. And the thing is that we're always we're always increasing. No matter what we think, we're always increasing. Even when we think we fell, and we are increasing.
We are always getting, yeah,
We're
that's right. We're
always,
always moving in that direction, right? Like,
yes. And all that
mhm.
is, all that, all quote unquote mistake or whatever, a failure does is it points us in a different direction than where we are headed.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it does, and it's because but we are to learn the lesson that, hey, I tried it this way, but that didn't work, and not, no, I didn't fail, because
That's
there's
right.
a million other ways to try it, but I didn't fail because I tried it this way and it didn't work. Now, to not try, that's the
Right.
failure,
The
you know.
failure is to decide not to try again. Like this is where once again we move to this line, always adjusting to find unity. The master lets herself be lived. You
Yes,
don't make you don't make big decisions like you're not going to try. I mean,
right.
sure you can, but like live. Let yourself be lived. Let yourself be guided. Let yourself be grow. And I know you just dropped off. I'm hoping you're gonna. Yep. Good. Um, let yourself be lived and be lived in this moment.
When you say be lived, and every time I think of that, I think of Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four Agreements. You
Oh
know,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
don't take nothing personally.
That's right.
Be impeccable with your word. Do your best at all time, and live your damn life. And don't assume
Mm-hmm.
shit. And don't assume
That's right.
shit. That's the four agreements. And if you
Yep.
can live by those four agreements in your life, oh my God, you will find bliss.
That's right.
You will
Like
find bliss.
all of that is right here in the Tao as well. Like all,
Yeah.
like there's nothing new. All of this stuff is like,
All of it is
the
said
more
from a different.
it's all just we have different ways of hearing. We have different ways of learning, and so it needs
Mhm.
to be said all of these different ways. And eventually nothing will need to be said and we'll be able to be quiet and just be ourselves and go
Yep.
dancing and just have a good time.
There you go, right there. Yeah. But yeah, so the thing is just live your life full out, and
That's
don't be scared and don't shrink. Oh my God, I shrink myself for so long, not wanting to stand out because whatever. I don't even know why. I have no idea. No, because I didn't like the limelight. I didn't like the limelight, so I would shrink myself because people were feeling intimidated and call me intimidating. And I thought I was intimidated, but then when my point of view changed, it's like, I'm not intimidated. Intimidating, you're intimidated. You need to question
right,
yourself.
right.
Why are you intimidated? You know what I mean?
That's right.
Because
It's
I'm
all
just
about
being
like
me.
the experiencer is having the experience. That means
That's
that
right.
you are having the experience of being called intimidating,
Uh-huh.
and they are having the experience of being intimidated. And your experience might be, oh, you are timid because you had these experience. Okay, that's your experience. And then how are you going to look at that and change and grow and be who you are without the without all of that, without the expectation, right? When we go back to the four agreements, without the expectation of feeling that way or whatever.
Yeah. So Mark, that was very good to start the year off.
Yeah. Let's
Hey,
remember,
you know,
we're all one.
we're all one. That's
Just
right.
allow
In
ourselves
unity.
to be lived.
And the whole thing is, I just thought of this thing too. When you think of it, we came from oneness before we made our earthly carnation. then we were still at one with our mother while we were in our little ball that's inside the womb, the uterus and the water sac and stuff. And we were
Mm-hmm.
surrounded by our our later the bigger Merkaba, while we're
Oh
in
yeah.
there unity with our mom. We got that whole circle thing going on with the nucleus in the center,
Yeah.
splitting off. And then when we come out our mom, we get to the individual thing, but we're so totally still connected to the mom until we get a certain age when we start realizing that we aren't connected to the mom. And then we had to do that individuation, but all
Mhm.
of that is done just so that you can come back into unity. And that's the
Right.
journey. And that's the
It
journey.
is.
And the thing is, some people don't make the unity before they leave this time, and they come back and they do it again.
That's right.
Some people make the unity and then they may decide to come back again. They may not decide to come back again, because I understand, for me, it was a decision to come back.
Mm-hmm.
It was a
Yeah.
decision that it was, like you said, free will. It was free will. I had
Yeah.
the free will to come back or stay gone. If I came back, there were going to be some things that had to change, you know, but I came back, So yeah, this was a very, very, very good dial to be in unity, because we come from unity, we will return to unity, but the whole job is to get to that unity within oneself, and so that we can respect the unity of all things.
That's right. That's right.
So thank
Oh,
you, my
thank you
brother.
so
I
much.
love you.
I love you too. My best to
Okay.
you and the whole fam.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye. I'm gonna bring up my buddy Kelly. Kelly, Kelly, Kelly. How are you? Hello, love. Oh, I can't hear you.
Oh man,
Kelly,
it
we got
has
to do
been.
some more
Oh,
Yep,
now you
there you
can,
are.
right?
There you are.
Okay. I'm going to take it off Wi-Fi and see if that helps. Okay. How's it now?
It's good. It's good.
Okay. Good.
I
Hi.
was I was just about to say we need to do some more Reiki because you're having more technical difficulty.
Oh, there's there's a place somewhere in existence where I get along just fine with digital stuff.
There is. So, how's your year going? How's everybody?
Oh, the year's going okay.
Okay.
No, everything's all right. It's okay. It's not bad. Everything's good.
Have you heard from our friend John LeCape?
Yes. He's good too.
Yeah,
He
he's got his books.
I know.
He's got two book deals. I'm so happy for him.
It's been really quite exciting. And it's really, you know what I like about this? He's like this really like covert teacher. He's like a ninja teacher, because like he's like, you should write a book, Kelly. And I'm like, eh. So then he writes like 2 books and he's like, see, this is how easy it is. He never says that. He just does it. And I'm like,
Yeah, that's right.
okay, I'm overcomplicating it. I get you.
You
Yeah.
definitely yeah. I could say that is a thing you do.
Yes. Yes.
Overcomplicate.
It's true. Yeah.
I know you. I don't know you very well, but well enough to know that you overcomplicate.
I feel like you know me pretty well.
Well, I love you,
Yeah. See,
and
I love
that's
you too.
nice.
Yes.
So, so let's see. Do you have a number for me today?
I went with 61
You went with 61
in my head a while ago when I
a
was here and
while
then I
ago.
left.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So 61 is great for you because it's entitled Being Great.
Hmm.
Being great requires the ability to be humble, so as to receive that which is attracted with tranquility. Attraction is the most primal of expressions. To receive that which is attractive is to know oneself. All great beings realize when they err. Having realized it, they admit it and correct it to the best of their ability. The greatest beings seek out those who can help them identify their faults. They consider their enemy a part of themselves that requires attention. To be centered in Tao is to nourish all related things, to not interfere or meddle in the errors of others.
I thought about the enemy as a gift. This is literally my favorite one. I think I've said that before about others, but this is my favorite now.
This is your favorite at this moment.
Yes.
All right.
It's
So
yeah.
any initial overarching thoughts?
It's everything that I ever like believe. It's kind of like it's like the gift card of the things that I think all the time. Like it's like of
Mm,
how I am in my being. You know, it's my beliefs. So I like it.
good. Well, let's start breaking it down a bit and seeing if we can kind of like pick things apart in here. Being great requires the ability to be humble, so as to receive that which is attracted with tranquility. Can you express that in some way?
Attracted with tranquility. Like, I mean, humbleness is a really important thing to me. It's also can at times be difficult because I then don't know how to step into myself. I often will downplay things so much so that I don't do them for like I don't show up, you know? I muffle my voice. And so that might be something that stands out for me. And the other part is like attracted with yeah, because like you just want to attract like what's pure, authentic, like peace. It's like, you know, it's pure. It's like a crystal.
So I'm gonna talk a little bit about this now. Being great requires the ability to be humble. Okay, like if we just take that as a statement, okay, great. It requires the ability to be humble. Why? Why then does being great require the ability to be humble? It is so that one can receive that which is attracted with tranquility. That means the person receiving stays tranquil in the reception of what they attract,
Mm,
right? You, if you didn't stay tranquil and you attracted fame and you got all excited, the minute something bad happened, because you got so excited, you created, like, because you looked at that which you attracted as good, as great, you then attract bad or horrible, right? And
mm,
because you can't stay tranquil, you are throwing energy into the universe and constantly creating, as we've talked about in the Tao before, its opposite. So you can receive greatness and you can receive receive good news and bad news, that which you attract, with tranquility. You can just be like, okay, this is what it is. Cool.
yeah,
That's
that's
how.
like love, right? You
Yep.
know, it's like there's no like one of the favorite things that you said to me ever is like doing something without attachment. Maybe it wasn't you, but I feel like it was you. Attachment to the outcome, but like that's something that's such an important thing to think about. Like there's
Yeah.
not however it goes, like it goes. Just like be be grateful, like be feel in love in the moment. You know, find the love in the moment. Like just be there with it. You know, like
Yeah.
and then it doesn't have to be attached to anything else. Like there's no attachment to the outcomes. It's like abstracter than the way you said it, but
Right. No, I. So attraction, the next line is attraction is the most primal of expressions. It's
yeah,
the
that's good.
it's the most primal of expressions. To receive that which is attracted is to know oneself. What do you feel about that?
I really like that line, by the way, Marja. It's really good. And
Thank you.
yeah, it's really
I'm really good. Like,
good.
so go on.
And the fact that that this has receive in it, like how many times it does, like that's such a good thing too, to think
Mm.
about because it's a big one for me nowadays. Um, we say it again though, because I got stuck on that.
Attraction is the most primal of expressions. To receive that which is attracted is to know oneself.
Mm,
So you're attracting things, like you're attracting health problems sometimes.
mm-hmm,
You're attracting problems or with digital things sometimes. You attract praise and love, and you attract frustration, and you attract all these things. To receive that which is attracted is to know oneself. How
mm,
often are you open to receiving that which you are attracting. Now, we attract things, but we don't always receive all of them. And when we receive them, we are more able to know ourselves because we get to know that this is what we're attracting. Attraction is the most primal of expressions. To receive, like to open up and receive that which is attracted, is to know oneself, because you start to know what the fuck you're attracting. So you get to know yourself more.
And you get to know yourself through the experience of that as well. Like
Yes.
when you're paying
Yes.
attention and present, you like every person that I get to know, it's like I get to know me better. You know, it's literally like the self and the other self as far as how you experience other people. It shows you who you are more. Like it's really all this connection stuff. But so I see that. Like when I'm having a hard time, for sure, I agree. Like it's totally
And so let's go back to that first line. Being great requires the ability to be humble. That's where we start. This is the beginning. Do you want to be great in your life? You must learn to be humble. Why? Because when you are humble, you uh, you will be able to receive what is attracted with calmness.
experience what you're receiving.
Right, you'll be able to experience what you're receiving, and you'll be able to understand that you're attracting things, and that understanding will get you to know yourself.
Present with it.
That's right. All great beings realize when they err. What that means, what the way I see this is, all beings realize when they err, when they are not receiving that which you are attracting, when you become the victim of that which you are attracting
Mm.
rather than receiving it. All great beings realize when they err. Having realized it, they admit it and correct it to the best of their ability. The greatest beings seek out those who can help them identify their faults. They consider their enemy, no matter if it's your health or digital things or other people or whatever, or politics or finances. They consider
You,
their enemy a part of themselves that requires attention.
I really hear in this one for this moment that like it's okay that it's hindsight. Like if we're stuck in
Yeah.
something, like and don't be dismissing the way that you're feeling right there. Like it's okay that hindsight you go, oh, I see the
Mm-hmm.
pattern or I see the story. Like allow that that's also true. Like don't try to force yourself to see the story now and to be in the down now and all that. You know, like that's actually the opposite. So
That's
like
right. Absolutely.
yeah,
It's so important to be you.
yes, it's the most important thing.
Right. And if you are pissed off, be pissed off. That's what I tell people in my workshops all the time. It's just like, look, if you're angry and you're lashing out, be angry. Lash out. You've done it before, you'll do it again. But if you miss the opportunity to recognize that you lashed out later, like if once you've calmed down, you don't look back, that's when you're missing an opportunity to grow. And
You're
that's
not,
it.
yeah.
And it's fine. You can lash out again, but the more awareness you can come up with, it doesn't matter if you're in a state, right? You don't have to be. There is no perfect.
Mm-mm.
There is no perfect other than what is right now anyway, right? So you are perfect in this moment. You are perfect right now, no matter what. If and but the greatest beings seek out those who can help and oh wait, that's not the line I wanted. All beings, all great beings realize when they err. And that doesn't mean you have to realize it in the moment. You just realize you've erred. Having realized it, and once you realize it, you admit it and you attempt to correct it to the best of your ability.
You don't refuse it. You don't turn away that gift for sure.
Right. You don't. And the greatest beings seek those people out. Seek the things out that trigger you the most. And that's what I do. Am I the greatest being? Well, maybe. But but I mean, I don't want we all want to be the greatest being, but like, it's you don't turn your back on that which doesn't have the right energy. You embrace it.
It's
But
like
that's yeah, go on.
it's like if you tilt your head a little bit and you just look at somebody who's freaking out or not freaking out, whatever it is that you're like feeling discord about, with wonder, just look at it with wonder.
Yeah,
Like it's like looking upon something differently, because yeah, like that's how that picture is for me, just like, wonder why this is the way it is. I wonder what's going on here, just give space for that. Yeah.
right. And then the last couple lines here: to be centered in Tao is to nourish all related things, to not interfere or meddle in the errors of others.
Because they're not errors. It's
Right.
not, yeah.
That's right. That is a reference to the word error earlier. All beings realize when they err. Having
Mm,
realized that they admit it and correct it to the best of their ability. When the master, to be centered in Tao is to nourish all related things. That means no matter what, you don't discriminate. You just nourish all things. And that is
yeah.
how one can be great, because whatever is received is what you nourish. To not interfere or meddle in the errors of others, because you trust that they, like you, are going to be humble, find tranquility, and receive what is attracted, and recognize where they err, and then correct it to the best of their ability. They are not errors.
It's a tranquil. It's all about harmony. It's really just like, it's not forcing it, and being present. Like even expectations on yourself.
Okay, you just dropped off. Come back up. Expectations on yourself is what we're talking about. I would love for it to wrap this up. And then Dr. Robert is in the queue. I will talk with him after this. Oh, Kelly, it's so good. It's so good to talk with you.
My little book.
And here you are. It takes it. I don't
Oh,
know
there
why
it
it
is.
takes about 5 seconds. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if
Phew.
there's a lag or something. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows?
Who
Um,
knows?
yeah. Just was I saying just about expectations on yourself too. I guess just really. There's just a lot of acceptance. I don't remember exactly what I was saying anymore, but
Yeah, that happens when we kind of break. When we kind of break for that little time. Well, either way, it was wonderful talking with you,
thank
and
you.
I'm so glad that like I'm on Wisdom, and I've met so many wonderful people. You being one of the most, you being someone that I really cherish to have in my life these days.
Same.
Yeah,
Same. I feel exactly the same way, and I'm so grateful. So I love you too, and thanks for being here. And I'm glad I got to come up today.
yeah. All right, we will
I'll see
talk
you
soon.
soon. All right.
All right,
Bye.
bye. Okay, I'm bringing up Dr. Robert, and I probably will check out after that. 61. I
Well,
didn't. It has been a while, Doctor. How are you doing?
oh, great.
I'm
Excuse me.
glad. How's your book doing?
Uh, very close. We want to put it in audio and then publish it. We was going to publish it this month, but we decided to want to do it audio as well and then publish the whole thing, and we'll have it out by the first of next month.
Good.
Yeah. But I thought about. I was born in 1957, the 12th month and the 21st day. And now I'm 65 years old. So I'm going to go with 65.
So many numbers. All right, 65.
Yeah.
Wonderful. 65 is entitled Simple Awareness. Masters aren't interested in educating people. They would rather them be yielding and kind. When people put their faith in knowledge, they lack faith in their own awareness. When they are happy to not know, they have no choice but to put faith in themselves. When governing a country, family, or self, avoid being clever and using knowledge to guide you. People are not naturally stupid or submissive. When not leaning on knowledge, all things are guided by awareness. Thoughts?
The name of my book is Unaware of Your Awareness.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm
And
gonna
just
I'm gonna I'm gonna reread this whole thing because I think that it's a powerful one. Masters aren't interested in educating people. They would rather them be yielding and kind. When people put their faith in knowledge, they lack faith in their own awareness. This is where your book comes in. They lack faith in their own, they lack awareness of their own awareness. When they are happy to not know, they have no choice but to put faith in themselves. When governing a country, family, or self, avoid being clever and using knowledge to guide you. People are not naturally stupid or submissive. When not leaning on knowledge, all things are guided by awareness.
that's good.
Unaware of your awareness.
And it's the point of how I got over dyslexic and not letting that hold me back. The doubt, the negativity, the anxiety of knowing that I was different. And
Mm-hmm.
oh, well, I'm different, so I can't learn. But I didn't put that in my mind. I
Right.
put a challenge in my mind because, let's tell the story. The teacher asked us to memorize the 50 states and learn to spell them. She asked me to go to the blackboard and spell Mississippi, but I couldn't spell that word forward. But what I did is walk to the other side of the blackboard and spelled the word backwards.
Mm.
She, she said, James, you are dyslexic and that is unique. After that, I went to the library, looked up the word, and it's and it says it's different area in the brain that processes language. So since I knew that, and because I see stuff backwards, it doesn't mean I couldn't learn. So I turn around and challenge myself.
You know what's interesting about your story is that this is like related so much to this first line, right? Masters aren't interested in educating people. They would rather them be yielding and kind. You had to be yielding and kind. And gratefully your teacher was kind to you to give you a different perspective other than like you are stupid or bad or whatever, right? But you had to be yielding because so many other people learn a different way than you do, that you had to yield to that concept and still grow as you did and still grow into who you are and who you would ultimately become. So you were the like poster child for this line of just like the master wanted you to be yielding and kind. So your teacher didn't tell you you were wrong. She wasn't interested in educating you in where you were wrong. She was interested in you growing as yourself. And that's such a beautiful experience to have had. And then you were able to overcome all of those, or not even overcome, because there's nothing to overcome. You just learned that you learn differently. And so you had to yield to the way that others were trying to teach.
Right, because I mean, the doubt challenged me,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
into knowing more. Not that I couldn't do it,
Right.
you know, and so that gave me more uh, emphasis on wanting to know more.
Yeah.
No, yeah. In the sixth
When
grade, I'm gonna say this. In the sixth grade, my teacher says, "Robert, you have a special, yeah, You have a special talent. Don't ever stop using it.
You know, as this continues, it says, when people put their faith in knowledge, they lack faith in their own awareness. You know, I always look at that as being like, you know, when you look to Google, or when you look to school, or when you look to a book to tell you how to parent, you know, you lose you are cutting yourself off to your own, like, innate ability to be a parent by following someone else's. You know, as a designer, I always say, well, if I have a problem with building an app, or building my website or whatever, the first thing I want to do is solve the problem myself, and then I will look at how other people solved it. Because if I were to look at how other people solved the problem first, well, then I I would be closing my eyes to my own inner direction, because, oh, I solved that problem with this. You know, it's kind of like when you're doing a crossword and you look up the answers before you come up with it. It's like you cheat yourself out of that ability to just know yourself, to really be aware of something.
Yes, losing dignity within yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, you put yourself second to some fool that wrote a book. You
Right.
know, like, you should trust yourself. Trust your own awareness. And then it says here, when they are happy to not know, when people are happy to not know, they have no choice but to put their faith in themselves. I love that. Like, that idea of, like, when you're happy to not know the answer and just try and figure it out, then you have to have faith in yourself. You have no other choice. But you have to start by being happy to not know. And in our society, we want answers, and we want them now.
Yes. You're not happy with not knowing. You want to
Right.
know everything, and
Mm-hmm.
then you want to also, uh, well, you turn around and get blamed for Mr. Know It All.
That's
Uh,
right. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I see. Yeah, I know it all because what I don't know, I'll say I don't know. You know.
That's right. And that's
Yeah.
okay. It's fine to not know some shit. Nothing wrong with that. You know, and
Really.
that's the thing. So many people, like, in our government, in our education system, in our economic system, everyone wants to know. Everyone wants to say, "Oh, well, we're in a recession, and this is what a recession means, and this is the way we get out of it." And all of these things are looking back. But it's like, that was always looking at someone else's, looking at an expert. And sure, experts know some shit, but, like, you're an expert at everything that you do because it's your life. You know,
That's
and
right.
today's been kind of a theme of just fuck around and find out. Fuck around in your life. Have fun. Just figure it out. You don't have to know the answer. It's okay.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
So I was saying, learn, unlearn, and relearn the basics of the relationship that you are in with yourself
Yeah. Always, always, because you're a new person every day.
every day.
You know,
You
and it
know.
says here, when governing a country, family, or self, when governing anything, really,
Mm-hmm.
avoid being clever or using knowledge to guide you. You don't need to be clever about stuff. You don't be like, oh, I'm going to get around the system. I'm going to do. No, what is your solution? What is your singular solution? Don't use knowledge, meaning, oh, this is what I know. And so, but, like, be yourself. You know, and this next line I really like too. People are not naturally stupid or submissive. We're not naturally stupid or submissive. You can figure it out. And it could be all of yours. And you don't have to turn to Google for everything. You can figure it out yourself.
Yes. Like my grandmother would say, somebody said something negative to her. She said, I forgive you too. And they said, what are you forgiving me for? She said, when you figured it out, you come back and let me know.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Okay. My grandmother would say, if someone said something negative to her, she would go, I'll forgive you too. And they said, what you forgiven me for? She said, when you figured it out, you come and let me know.
Yeah.
So, not that many people, I don't think anybody came and let her know, but it's the point of they started the negativity, and so it ends with them. She don't hold
Yeah.
on to it, is what she's saying, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's like this final line here, like, when not leaning on knowledge, all things are guided by awareness. And I think like that is at the core, I think, of what you're saying, like, is in your book, this idea that, like, hey, look, be yourself, be aware of who you are. Don't lean on what other people say, don't lean on your diagnosis, don't lean on anything like that, but learn about you in this moment and be guided by your own personal awareness.
that's right.
You know,
Because
I
it's
think that's
only
beautiful.
you. Thank you. It's only you. It's only now. And the moment that you have right now is what you have. All the rest is what you want. But what you have is the moment you are having right now.
That's right. That's right.
And so,
Oh,
so
thank you so much for joining me, Robert. I really appreciate it, and good luck with your book and everything, and the launch, and the publication, and I'm looking forward to listening to it because I don't read much, but I would listen to the audio.
okay. And my grandmother would say, do what you can now because the next minute is not promised to you.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. So, and
All right,
thank
brother.
you, and Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you so
Uh,
much.
and thank you. All right.
All right, we're gonna end Hour of the Day here. Thank you so much to everyone that joined me, Kelly and Robert and Johnny came on earlier, and Julie. They came from overseas, so we were international today. I appreciate everybody for stopping in. Once again, if you benefit from the work I do here on Wisdom and with Tao of the Day, please consider sending me a little tip through Venmo at martinjohn_Garcia. I can always use help keeping the lights on, as you know, we all can. Love you guys so much. It is such a blessing to be able to come on here and do Tao of the Day. And until next time, keep recovering yourself.